Today I thought I would do a video on medical aids, like the actual jewellery, the things that people wear to tell them, well, not them, to tell medical services, like emergency services, that there's important information you need to know about me, like if they can't communicate. Partly because I consistently wear one, I've got no choice at all, because if I'm injured or if I'm alone with just the Jakey, who obviously is a dog and can't communicate for me, and I can't communicate for myself, I need something to say, hey look, I'm autistic, I'm also this, I'm also, like, I also have seizures, I'm steroid dependent, so I always wear one. I think I've been wearing one since I was about 15, 16, and I'm now 29. I'm 30 this month, so I've worn one for years now. And actually, it's come in handy because the amount of people that have asked me, what is that? Or have it spoken for me when I couldn't say my name because doctors have asked my name before and I've just been too anxious. And it's spoken for me on countless occasions, even when it wasn't, or when I wasn't in accidents, but more I couldn't communicate because I was too scared or too anxious or too stressed. Now, there are varying options for medical IDs and medical identification. I have both jewellery and cards, but I think today I'm just going to show you the options for jewellery because I have a lot of them. I am currently wearing one, you just can't see it because it's under my top. So I am wearing a necklace at the moment, which really needs updating, but because I'm going through tests and whatever, I'm not updating it until after I've had the tests and I've got the results back, so it updates correctly and I'm not confusing people with my diagnoses. Now, on the front of this one, I'm not sure it'll focus, but I've got my name, my date of birth. I think I'm reading upside down here. I think my mum's number in case of emergency. That's the Star of Life that is obviously coming apart because it's old. It's been around my neck 24/7. And then on the back, I have my identifying disorders and the fact that I'm on multiple medications, the fact that I have seizures, the fact that I'm steroid dependent, the fact that I carry EpiPens, my allergies, and basic, very important information that they would need to know if I was ever in a wreck or in an emergency and they need to treat me, because I won't be able to talk for myself. And that always stays around my neck. I also have, this didn't come with this, but because the necklace chain that this came with was too long and I had this on all the time anyway before I got a necklace one, I just attached it together. I also have a St. Christopher pendulum, I'm not sure what you call that, I just call it a circle, around my neck too, and that never comes off, so that always stays there. You've probably heard it rattling around in the back of my videos because it makes a noise. I like the noise, I just don't think ahead sometimes, like I forget other people probably can hear that sound. And also, for those wondering where the fluffy thing is, the fluffy thing is sleeping right next to me as I do this video. So you may hear him, you may not, it depends. He is sleeping on my blankets and my weighted blanket, which is what this is my weighted blanket, and yes, that is my phone. And he's above my sensory swing, below my sensory swing. But he's happy and comfy, so I'm not going to disturb him. Okay. My medical alerts, new and, well, old actually, are all in this box. Yes, it says hamster bedding on it. No, it's not hamster bedding. It is literally all medical ID. I keep them in case something happens to one I'm wearing, or I need to remind myself of what conditions need to go on, because obviously sometimes when I get a new one, not necessarily a new condition, but when I get a new ID, I forget what's been on the previous one, so I like to keep them. And it also helps me remember and figure out, like, what I can put in and what would make sense to put in. So I'm just going to open it and see what I've got, because honestly I can't remember. Oh, okay, so this one is rubber, and it's small, it's size small, and obviously pink. It says medical alert, and then you flip it, like they'd have to flip it the other side. It doesn't say that on it, but I'm pretty sure they'd have obvious, like it'd be obvious to them. And then, hang on, let me just figure this out where the number is, because I don't want to dox my mother. On the other side there is my details, so my name, medical conditions, what else is on here? Obviously my mother's number, which I'm covering up because my mother would kill me if her name was, and things like that. Well, not literally. My mother would not be very impressed if things like her number were doxed all over the internet. I've got the fact that I use an EpiPen on there. I've got the fact that I'm steroid dependent on there. And I also have, apparently on here, see wallet card for more info, right at the bottom. Because, and then the thing that I'm covering up, which is my mother's number, because obviously I can only fit a certain amount on these bands. I think it was 40 characters per line, and I've got 3 lines. So they're really good and you can fit quite a lot of info on it, but it's also like guessing how much, because it counts like spaces as characters. So I have to really, really think and narrow down what's really important for emergency services to know about me, and include my name and a contact number on top of that. This is great. These kind of bands are great because they stay on. They are waterproof. Like, I can wear this in the bath, or I could wear it in the bath, and I could wear it anywhere. I wore it swimming, I wore it dancing. The only thing is, I wear it too long. If you wear it too long and you don't take it off, you get like a red, your skin gets irritated, and it's quite a difficult thing to get rid of. So I have 1, 2, 3 of those. It's slightly different, this third one, because, I mean, for a start, I don't think this one's mine. No, it's not. This one is technically my cousin's from when she was little, but it's a sports ID band, so she wanted one that matched me at the time, so I was wearing one of these at the time. And also she is autistic herself, and she was a runner at that point. She isn't now, she's 16 now. But we used to take her swimming and things, so I figured a sports ID band made more sense. And it's got her information on the inside, so if she did run, she's got her info on the back. It's also got her mum's number and my number on the back, because I was her main carer at the point when she was out with me. So emergency services could flip it over and they'd be able to see her name, obviously her diagnoses, and then her mum's number and my number at the bottom, which I'm covering up, so you probably can't see half the details. But it was easy enough that even when she was swimming, when she was doing things, you could see it, and like you could understand that was like identification. Again, it's waterproof, it lasts a long time, it's still the writing, it's made by the same company, you see, so the writing's still there, it's still clear, and it still works, and it's flexible, not very flexible, so it wouldn't fall off, but she could wear it all day, every day, and she weren't going to complain. The next sort of one I've got is these ones, which, again, some of these are falling to bits, which is why I don't use them, because they fall into bits, but I have them. I've just kept them for the wording on them. So they are these, they're like wrist watches. So they've got, obviously, the same as before, my detail, the Star of Life, and then on the back, the rest of my information, and you can tie it like a watch. And it's like again, the material of this is like rubber. It's latex free, but it's rubber and it's flexible, and it's got several different notches to tie the thing tighter or looser, and that's why I bought it, and I liked it. But I'd say the only bad thing about these types of ones, they're heavy. They're really, really frigging heavy on your wrist. If you are wearing them all the time, the writing rubs off really quickly as well, and they are so heavy. They hurt my wrist when I wore them for longer than 3 days, to the point where I had to take it off and go back and revert back to one of my rubber ones, because every time I wore these ones, no matter how pretty they were, they hurt. They stressed me out. Again, this is technically a kid's design, but it's got the Star of Life on the front, and then on the back it's got my details again, because obviously this is to do with me, and my mum's number. I like the fact that with this one you can fit a lot on and it still stays, like the writing still stays, it's still clear, but if it gets dirty you can't really wash it off. Like, I couldn't get the stain off of this one, so it's not really readable anymore, and it really stressed me out. Like, there's no chance, because it's there's such a small amount of like text in such a small amount of space. You either have to be really, really careful about what you put, use shortened versions, or hope and pray that whoever's reading it can read well and it's in the light. Like, you wouldn't be able to read this text if it was in the dark, because it's really not that great. It's not visible very well in the dark, or like, even if it's not like sunny outside, like, you have to have some form of light outside of just everyday light to be able to read what's on these bracelets. It's the same with these ones. Now, this is technically the same bracelet twice. You can tell because I've got the same straps, but again, same issue. Heavy as heck. These things hurt my hands and my wrists to the point where I had to take them off. No matter how clear the writing is and how much space you get on the back, these are not light. These do not work and do not stay on for long enough that someone would be able to get to it in an emergency. They fall off because they're so heavy. They are not gentle on anything, and every single time I tried to use it, or someone tried to read the back of it that has my details on, the other side of the strap, so the second side of the strap that's supposed to go there, would come off, and I'd spend more time trying to reattach it than anything else. I have not bought one of these since I discovered that issue and the fact that they are so heavy, because they hurt, they're a danger, they're a risk, and because of that I won't get these again. And as I've said, I do have I did, obviously I've switched things now, but this is the last type that I have, which is a necklace. I've took the string out of this one, obviously, because I've used the string, but this was a while ago, and that's how I know it was a while ago, because, well, one, the numbers on the back of these have changed, and two, I've got a lot more conditions since then. But I liked these because they're shiny, because they've got the Star of Life on, and because it came with two different necklace bits. You've got more options to write, and it's still visible that it's still part of the same thing. So I'd wear these together because they came together, but it gave me more space to write what I needed. I've now got, on the back of these ones, I've got 3 numbers. Now, bearing in mind, I've had this specific set since I was 17, so 12 years ago, and everything is still visible. These are a good buy. These were £12. And the reason I bought these was because at that point in time I didn't have very much money. But I needed something that would tell people, hey, I'm autistic, I will struggle, I have asthma, etc. when I was out alone. Now this was a good buy. It was £12. It was 2 different necklaces, 2 different necklace bits that come together, and that alerted people to my disability and my medical conditions. And also, if they switched, like they turned over, which I'm not going to do, they'd have 3 different numbers to try in case something happened to me, but also have the most important information to treat me if needed at hospital. And that is why I like this. I like the necklaces. I've gone for necklaces more than bracelets, simply because they're more practical to me. Like, I wear a Fitbit, but I don't wear anything else on my wrists because it just felt weird. But I've always worn a necklace, so I've always been used to that feeling, and it's not as intrusive as a bracelet would be for me when I'm writing or drawing or doing everyday tasks. A necklace just sits there and it doesn't go away, it doesn't move. I mean, it moves a little bit, but not as much as like a bracelet would, going up and down my arm and driving me crazy. And for me as well, it's become sort of a safety net thing. Like, when I get anxious, I play with it. It's not going to interrupt other people, it's not going to hurt other people. No one else needs to know it's there unless they're working with me or they're a doctor, etc. And I know it's there no matter what. And I know that I have the safety net. Now, that's the whole point in these medical alert things, is to give people that safety net, especially those with special needs loved ones or disabled loved ones. It gives them the safety net that if something happens to them while they're with their loved one, or something happens to their loved one, there's a way that their loved one will be able to communicate, even if they can't verbally communicate. That's what I love about them. That's why I have them. That's why I use them, because I now live independently and I have done for 6 years. I know that for me, if something were to happen, I've got a way of explaining without overwhelming myself, without upsetting anyone else, and without getting anxious or over doubly anxious. Apologies if you heard that. That's my email telling me something's arrived. There's a way for me to communicate with people safely, and they get all the important information that they need. And that's why I wear them. That's why I love medical IDs, and I don't think I will ever stop wearing them. Sorry if this was a bit jumbled and chaotic. I am running on about 6 hours of sleep, if that, and I am still exhausted. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!